I'm going to go ahead and say this now while you are under the sound of my voice. Please keep going. Whatever it is that you are working on, please keep going. Welcome to another episode of Embracing Brilliance. I am your host, Dr. Kim. I got my water here with me. If you are tuning in, watching us online at the time of this live stream, go ahead and drop me a hello in the comments. I like to go back and greet y'all as well. I do watch the replay. I do go back into the comments as well so I can say hello to you and answer any questions that you may have. So say hello. It also kind of boosts things up and it lets me know who's in the audience also as well. So shout out to you also if you are a replay viewer and you are a binge watching, podcast loving individual who is taking your time out of your day, or you could be doing something else like cleaning or cooking or prepping something. Shout out to you. That's what I do when I watch long form content. But yes, we are on the topic of confidence. Welcome to your May. May your entire month prove that you have placed yourself in proper perspectives. May this entire month show you how well you deserve to prioritize yourself, to prioritize your goals, to prioritize your faith in God, to prioritize your well being, to prioritize your rest. May it all be well with you. We are on the topic of what is the core foundation of confidence. Confidence can come from so many different places. If you are tired of just faking it till you make it, if you want longer lasting confidence that doesn't involve being validated from other people, this live is for you. And even if you've done those things before where you faked it till you make it and you believe in the theory of motion and everything comes before the confidence comes in. And yes, action does cure fear because a lot of times it's not that you're not confident, it's just that you are afraid of something. But either way, no matter what your take is on confidence, I want to share with you some things to build on three internal pillars from within on how to get confidence that is unshakable and things that you can build on as you're going into your future and the things that you are doing. Like I said, this is an episode of Embracing Brilliance. I am Dr. Kim of Align with Dr. Kim, where we heal from burnout. We create balance so we can embrace our brilliance and our well being. So, also, if you are watching me from YouTube, hello, YouTube land. Go ahead and like, comment, and share. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well because the time is running out for me to broadcast these lives to Facebook. Well, I may continue to do that for a little while. But as far as I know of right now, Facebook will be deleting videos. So you will be able to find probably a good length of my videos all will be collected in YouTube land. So that way you'll be able to go to one place and you'll be able to watch them there. Hi, hey, how y'all doing? So we're talking about confidence. We're talking about the foundations of confidence, and we're talking about having core confidence and unshakable confidence for the entire month of May. That is the theme over here. Now, if you would have told me, you know, 2 years ago or even this morning, I'm like, man, I still can't believe I'm talking about this, but I do believe it because I have experienced some life just like the rest of you all out there. And let me know, where does confidence come from for you? Does confidence come from what other people tell you? Do you get confidence in the things that you can do, in the way that you talk to yourself? Let me know that in the comments as well. That's my question for you as we are talking about this topic on tonight. So the three foundations that we're going to talk about is self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-trust. Those are the three foundations and some internal pillars, the things that we can work on. So did y'all know that confidence is not something that you're just born with? Confidence is a skill set that you develop along the way. That's a common misconception that either you have it or you don't. Well, it is a skill, it is a muscle that you grow. It is something that you give yourself, basically. That was something that I did not understand about it. When I first started trying to understand what confidence was, now that I think back about it, my impression of myself, me and my self-awareness was basically non-existent. Like I knew, I was a person and where I was and that I had this life, things like that. But I was living in the right now, which there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm talking about being like a teenager, like you coming into your teenage years or you 9 or 10 years old, and my confidence had been shot by so many different experiences that I had growing up. I've experienced bullying, I've experienced feeling like an outcast, based upon just things that other people were thinking. And we all know, well, I can say I know now, people will project things onto you based upon their own internal experiences. And it is not necessarily the truth. This is why this first foundation of self awareness is key. So, self awareness is basically understanding who you are and deeply looking into it. I think this is a reason why a lot of people have trouble with accountability. Now, I know I done probably stepped on some toes, but I'm going to go there. I am going to go there. Yes, I am. So, yeah, when people have to accept themselves and they have to be accountable for something, they have to face themselves. And a lot of people really cannot face themselves or that pain because there are things that they either know about themselves or false things that they have been told, false things that they believe about themselves that is just basically not even true. And we all have things that we have believed about ourselves that was not true at all. And y'all, your brain is consistently looking for proof of the things that you tell it, whether you tell it something good or tell it something bad. This is the power of the mind, of the subconscious. You're always going to be seeking out whatever things you tell yourself or whatever things that you were told. Basically, is how your belief system operates and how we attract things or how we come across things. They are basically all evidence of what you believe. Our behaviors, our actions, the things we say can all be traced or basically looked back as okay, this is what you believe. And you notice that when you observe other people. Well, now we're in the realm of self awareness. You're observing yourself, and it can be a hard thing for some people. But the benefits of doing this, of it is owning yourself. Basically, you get to own who you are when you become completely self-aware and looking at the deeper things of yourself, even the painful things, and being truthful about it. So it's being observant and stating the truth about yourself. And not all of those truths have to be negative things that make you feel bad. Some of those, yes, you can have a weakness in something and it can still be something that you don't have to have an emotional attachment to. And if you do, there are some practices that you can do to trace into that. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. So, understanding your strengths, understanding your weaknesses, understanding your values is all foundational to understanding where your confidence is, how you become confident, how your confidence grows by understanding all of those things. If I had known that I could just look at something about myself and own it, and that was my power, y'all, I would have did that a long time ago. I'm gonna take a sip of my water here. All righty. So we got to make sure we stay hydrated because we are alive in here. And I want to make sure I'm checking the comments also in here. So, yeah, knowing yourself deeply involves you to take a good, hard look at yourself and own those things. You call it out, you observe it, whether it's looking at what happened to you during that day, whether it's something that happened to you with an experience that you had. And I will say these things are perfect. It's a not perfect. I would say this is a great evaluation, especially if you've experienced a confident hit. And oh my God, confident hits can happen on so many different levels. They can happen in your career, they can happen in your relationships. You can take a hit in your confidence just by walking outside with different things. And yes, if that doesn't apply to you, that is totally fine. You are living life, and there have been some moments where you've noticed that your confidence kind of dipped down based upon what you've experienced, what you learned about it, what you learned about yourself, and the tools that you have in your toolkit. Basically, building a resiliency toolkit is what I'm talking about. The way you learn to come back from things, the way you learn to stand on truth about things, all of those things determine how confident you are and how you develop your confidence as you go along. So, some of the ways that you can start to look into, what are my values? What are the things that I'm strong at? What are the things that I'm weak at? Like I said, I know identifying your weaknesses may be painful for some people, but trust me, when you start to take a look at those things, it becomes less and less painful the more you start to own it. Because once you own it, you can start to work with it. Now, I am all for identifying these things, and I am also for playing your strengths, working on the things that you are strong in and getting better at those things, and hiring out or delegating your weakness. Of course, if there's something that you want to work, if it pertains to your career or your competency levels, and you notice, you got a weakness in this thing, or if it's some type of interpersonal skill that you notice you have a weakness in. For example, empathy. A lot of people do not have strong levels of empathy in certain professions, and it helps with the employee morale. It helps with how the management of the team goes when you have these interpersonal skills taught, and when there are conferences and workshops and things available, free resources as well, to learn those different skills. It will help you build your confidence up with those things also, because you've identified it as a weakness. You now have a power to work on it and to bring it up to speed. But I definitely will tell people, play more in your strengths. I'm gonna make sure I tell y'all about being balanced as well. But I also notice what you're weak at. And if it's something you can hire out, or something that you can get off your table, that's gonna be stress relief right there for you. I notice this a lot on jobs and people who are entrepreneurs and CEOs. If you know that you prefer to plan your month and your year out, and you like to get strategy together, but you hate sitting down doing, bookkeeping and taxes and making sure payroll is done, take it off your plate. You got to find a specialist, somebody who is anointed to do that thing. And when you become aware of yourself, that's going to eliminate a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. So, this was what I was talking about with learning what that is. So, yeah, you can observe through journaling. When you journal about your thoughts during the day, my open door to journaling started with my business. So a lot of y'all may not have noticed, I am a chiropractor, and I owned and operated a chiropractic business. I started from scratch, all of those type of things. So I needed a way to really keep up and keep track of things. But I started making a log with stuff, and then I noticed, I would have these. I needed an emotional outlet as well. I needed a place to go over how I was feeling about things. So when you are able to observe, and when you're able to go back and look at those things, as a weekly review or as a monthly review, you really begin to see changes, and you pick up patterns within yourself as well. And once again, what we are able to observe, we are able to change as well. We can change those things. Hello, hello. Thank you all for coming through, and thank you for sharing the live as well. So understanding yourself, another way you can do that, I just give two just for the sake of time, is examining your internal narrative. Listening to the way you speak to yourself is key. You are going to learn a lot about how you perceive yourself. And like I said, whether your belief system is based upon a lie or based upon the truth, something negative or something positive, that's what you're going to seek out. That's what you're going to keep experiencing. So we have to really investigate, how am I talking about myself? How am I talking about my life? What is the internal narrative? What story am I telling myself about this? And what's the actual thing that's going on? Also, what words am I saying to myself in my mind? How am I feeling when it comes to this thing, and this thing? Those are ways that you can start to understand, become more aware of, what do you value? Where do you have strengths operating in this point? What can you change? How would you rather talk about yourself? How would you rather feel about this certain person, situation, scenario? You're able to change those things. And I'm going to go back to the journal as well, because once you identify and evaluate those things in your journal, you're able to work through it. Y'all, I gotta do a journaling class, because I just want to break down so many different things in the world of journaling. It's amazing. But having a business journal, and a place where you can dump out your emotions, you can dump out your thoughts on things, your strategies on things, because some of you are very brilliant people and you just have all these different ideas and ideas and ideas. It's like, put it down on paper so you can categorize, so you can organize, and you can schedule those things, or you can put it up for later. That's a way how you can organize your thoughts with it, but still it allows you to get to know yourself. The second foundation of building, well, the core of confidence is accepting yourself. This is another one. This is why I was saying, it's like some people don't understand how to be accountable because it requires you to accept yourself. When that's what the next step is after the awareness. You're aware of a thing. It's like some people can't accept things about themselves. Here is the power in embracing your whole self. The power is understanding that you are a complete individual made up of imperfections and flaws. You have imperfections, you have flaws. There is, you know, definitely going to be something human about you that comes through. That is your role in humanity. And coming to accept that, I believe, gives us room to connect with other people. It gives us room to let go of external validation and not be tied to it. That validation, from getting validation from someone else, you're no longer a slave to it when you accept things about yourself. And this is, I'm gonna go back to the bullying as well. People can't bully you about things that you've already accepted about yourself, or things that you've already given yourself power over. They can't take that from you because you've already stated it, you've already owned it, and all those type of things. Nobody can hurt your feelings without your permission. People can say some mean things, and yes, it can make you feel certain ways, and that's okay to explore that and to go through those emotions, but to come to the terms of action that, hey, I am in control of my inner self. There are things that I accept about myself, and that's where my strength comes from. We got a hey, hello, Temperance. Temperance, I think you made an emoji, but for some reason it's not showing up over here on StreamYard. But thank you so much for joining live and commenting. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Um, and I've accepted the fact that, Temperance has a wonderful hair care line, because I am using her hair growth oil. And while we're in the braids right now, these are my birthday braids, y'all. I'm excited about them. I got ombre braids. This is the first time I got this. Not the first time I got some color. Well, on the side note, yes, I am excited about my birthday braids and celebrating my birthday and sharing some confidence things about myself. I am a private person. But there are some things that I feel led to share by God. So I think that's gonna help me expand my comfort zone, just talking about different things that God is challenging me to become more confident in. And I know speaking is one of those things, and to become more confident in being outgoing, things like that, just exploring more. Those were some of the main, some wonderful things that I did when I was going through my burnout journey, was learning to accept myself. I had to become more confident in just getting out and exploring different things and trying different things so I could see myself in those things, so I could see what I liked, so I could try new things and give myself the opportunity to have joy, to have fun, and to be kind to myself. So, once again, your acceptance of yourself doesn't, you don't have to be perfect. You can release yourself from that right now. You do not have to be perfect. Matter of fact, you cuter with your imperfections and your flaws. You are cuter with it, okay? I am just going to say that now. Or you're more handsome with them. You are more brilliant with your flaws and imperfections. I have learned throughout my life that my imperfections are basically God's platform, because the wonderful things that he will do with the stuff that I can't do nothing with. I mean, I will tell you, I'm pretty sure everybody has, a hot mess express in parts of their life, because it's life. We're human. We're gonna have some areas that are not so perfect, because basically perfection does not exist. We just have these things that we've made up, and these imaginary things, that standards that even God don't hold us to, but we're holding them to ourselves. So how do we get over that? How do we strengthen our self acceptance, being able to accept the flaws, um, being able to accept ourselves when nobody is there to validate us and tell us, yes, you're right for this, or yes, you're great for this. If though nobody's there to clap for us and give us praise, or tell us how wonderful we are, how can we accept ourselves? This is another side note here. I think this is why sometimes loneliness is a problem, because you feel like you need the presence of someone else to entertain you, to boost you. That's a trap. And that's something that a lot of people can be trapped in, because understanding that there's a difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation is something that can be damaging if it's too long. Solitude can be an oasis of comfort. I'm gonna say that again. Solitude can be an oasis of comfort. Once you accept yourself and you are pleased with yourself, it's so much peace. You can go to places that involve peace. You will start to attract people that are of peace with you, people who are wonderful and they're like you. They have a calming, peaceful demeanor about themselves once you accept that about yourself. So I am saying this because when we start to tear away from the external validation, there will be a period of isolation sometimes. There will be a rebuffering, if you will. There will be a reacclimation that goes on from it when you start to tear away from the need for external validation. And that is something that we mature out of, or at least we're given an opportunity to. And I know everybody's not on the same level. Everybody's not going to grow at the same pace. And some people, they choose not to. It's okay. That's their experience in life. And we release and bless those people in Jesus' name. We do. We don't, because we ain't stressing over here about that. We not at all. But practicing self-compassion will help you to accept yourself. I've noticed that I talk a lot about self-compassion in the way you talk to yourself, but self-compassion is also the things that you do for yourself. Like, you would talk to yourself like you would your best friend. You would talk to yourself and deal with yourself kindly as you would a little child. Because in essence, that 6-year-old version of you is still present. You just have a different body. You've grown. but your nervous system, your memories, the same that you experienced before, you still have them. And I think most therapists and psychologists would agree that those memories and those feelings, they remain. They're at your core. We just manage them differently. And a lot of times, to become free of those things, we have to break through layers to get to the core of what we've covered up, just so we can express it, feel it, and release it and learn to let it go. That is the power of therapy and intensive coaching with other individuals out there as well. If the self-compassion work needs to go deeper, I won't say it's not working, because any level of self-compassion, doing kind things for yourself, saying kind things to yourself, giving yourself grace, giving yourself the room to cry, giving yourself the room to grow, giving yourself the room to let go of self-criticism, understanding that you are inherently worthy. All of those levels of expressing that compassion towards yourself pays off. If it's something you need to go deeper in, there's plenty of help out there available for that as well. So that's the self-acceptance part. And self-trust is the next part. Got to bring my banner up. Self-trust. This is a big one. Sometimes you do not need a new strategy. The win comes from believing in yourself. I'm gonna say that again. Sometimes it's not that you need another coach. You don't need another program. You don't need to read another book. You don't need to go pay for another degree. You don't need to do anything but implement all the wonderful things, the wonderful dreams that you have, the things that you already know how to do. You need to give yourself room to trust yourself, to trust your capabilities, to try, to put your hand to it so you can actually move forward. You just need to step out. You need to step into it versus, I got to go find this, I got to go research this. And I know this because I have been in those spaces. I literally have, I got to a point where it's like, God was like, oh, okay, you're not going to implement here. Every coach that you go to, Kim, I'm going to tell them to tell you the same thing. Every program that you buy, you're going to get the same thing. And God had already factored in the period of time that I needed, which is grace, that I was going to go through all of that craziness and that foolishness. And when I started noticing it, that was feedback from God. It's like, okay, you doing and you seeing the same thing over and over and over again. It's time to actually step out on it. You know, we'll give you accountability. I'll keep showing you people who are doing those things, but it's time for you to step into your place. It's time for you to start believing in your capabilities. And I understand how tough that is, because there is so much that works against us to keep us from trusting ourselves. That's the way the world is built. You are sort of programmed to not believe and not trust in your own capabilities. Why? Because they can commercialize off of it. When you trust that your beauty is in products and creams and all of those, I'm not saying anything is wrong. I love beauty in the skincare industry, makeup, jewelry, all of those things are very fun. They have their place and everything. But when you become too overly dependent upon it, you become a commercialized person. You become a commodity to them. Like, you become a purchaser or a person who is consuming more than you are creating and giving, and that can be draining. It is draining to be that way. And it's all coming from a place of a lack of self-trust. And there are so many different um holes that we catch ourselves in when we don't trust ourselves. And there are so many exits out of those holes. You do not have to sink into those holes. You can climb out of it by understanding how to trust in your capability. So let's talk about that as well. So ways to cultivate or grow your self-trust. This means you trust in your decision, you trust your instinct, you trust your gut. If you are an entrepreneur, you definitely gonna have to learn to trust that thing. If you a mama, you know you gotta trust your gut. um, And this helps with your ability to navigate the challenges. Like I said, you don't have to stay in the holes. Oh, you're able to navigate yourself out when you're able to trust yourself. Listening to your gut. So I'm gonna get a little nerdy here. There is science that backs up and says the nerves that are in your gut are directly related to your brain. The instinct that you feel, the gut punch that you feel like, man, I shouldn't go here to this place. Man, I don't think I should take this deal. I don't think this person is. A lot of times, this is your body and your nervous system communicating with you because it picks up on things that your brain may not have picked up on, or that your programmed mind has not picked up on or wasn't able to see. But the wisdom of the body is beyond anything that people can study or even tell you. And this is why I love mind body healing so much, and mind body connection, being able to reconnect and understand, listening to your body, being intuitive and really tapping into that, listening to, cues from your body, like hunger cues, thirst cues, understanding, okay, I'm tired, I need to rest cues, things like that. Do you know a lot of people who are in burnout and other issues, anxiety, things like that? You get so engrossed in life or so engrossed in weariness that you don't even recognize your cues. This is how people end up in depressive states. This is how, well, that's a sign that somebody is in a deep depression state as well, is they're not able to understand their cues anymore because the brain chemistry has gone off. And to keep those things in alignment, we have to connect in our mind, in our hearts, and in our bodies. And one of the greatest way that I've seen people do that is meditation. I'm talking about mind body healing now. But those things allow you to start to trust yourself, even just with deep breathing, with your hand over your chest, and taking many compassion breaks for yourself throughout the day helps you to trust in yourself. Now, I'm gonna give you some country girl wisdom too here. Um, Around my parts where I'm from, we say follow your first mind. I cannot tell you how many times a month I talk to somebody and they be like, my mind told me I should have followed my first mind, blah, 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 blah. That is the wisdom of your body. And a lot of times, people have spiritual connection to God, and they really are hearing, and God be trying to get them the tea on stuff, and they just don't be listening. I was in conversation with my mama yesterday, and I was like, I get mad when people say, I thought you came across my mind, and I don't know, I didn't call you. Hey, you need to listen to them cues that you getting. Cause what if that cue was about you and something to, help prevent something with your own life, let alone, we are connected to certain people, and God will, give us, hey, go check on so and so and things like that. Because yeah, we need one another. And that's, the Lord telling you to do something. But either way, let's go back to self-trust. So listening to your intuition does pay off. It helps you to flourish. And starting small, it's like, okay, before you, and I have had to do this a lot of times where I would practice a pause. It's basically, okay, I have this, and this going on. What do I need to do first? And I shut up. Well, silent. Y'all, like, it's teachers, my one of my teachers' voices in my head, like, shut up is such a derogatory thing to say. You can say it better, just silence. Oh my goodness, the things that people tell us. But yeah, being able to trust in your own capabilities, you have to practice being quiet, listening to your gut, and following through on it, and doing it consistently over time. Um, being being committed to your growth is another one. With learning to trust yourself, you start to view mistakes as growing opportunities or learning opportunities. You start to release the shame and the fear that comes around you know, I made a mistake here. No, I'm human. I'm still learning. All of those type of things help you to put away like the negativity around trusting yourself and then being courageous. Little tiny acts of courage every day. You got an unctioning or just a nudge. Let me go over here and do this, and you just follow through on them throughout the days, and that muscle starts to build. It's a muscle that we have to build. So, how do we put all of this together with the self awareness, the self acceptance, and trusting ourselves? We put it all together by understanding that these practices help you become more resilient. We can practice it every day with check ins. You can practice it whichever one you know you need to work on. But yeah, you able to combine all of these just by checking in. Okay, where did I accept myself, or where do I need to accept myself more? um how is my self-trust going? And you have those conversations and those check-ins with yourself. You practice over all the little things that I just said. You just practice all of those points. Hey, we got a comment coming in. Derek said yes, brain and heart coherence. Okay, I see somebody been reading. Brain and heart coherence. You better come on with the healing talk. Yes, those things, the healing, and in the world of healing, yes, you do need brain heart coherence. And there, if y'all want to read in the science of that, that's another one that is amazing. So combining all three of those, you start to practice them, not seeking out perfection. When we try to seek out perfection, oh, I'm growing and I'm doing my self development, and you're trying on those things, you're gonna burn yourself out. Perfection is an illusion. It's something that we've told ourselves, and we hold ourselves hostage. It's like we put the standard way up here, and even God didn't put it up there. It's like, hey, just be consistent in the little things that you're supposed to do, and it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. Confidence comes through consistency. Confidence comes through consistency. Confidence comes through consistency. Being consistent. The more you do something, the more confident you're going to become, the more competent that you're going to become in that thing. And committing to a lifelong um a journey of growth will help you in this as well. Not that saying that, I gotta, be confident in this by tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta be confident. I gotta be confident in this tomorrow. And so, yeah, you can't, I don't see anything wrong. I don't say the term fake it till you make it. I say faith it till you make it, which is basically applying all three of those things. You apply faith, meaning that you tell yourself the truth, you become aware that there is truth, you apply that truth, and you walk forward in it. You take that small, courageous step by trusting yourself. You faith it till you make it. That's what I would submit to you. Faith it till you make it. Don't fake it. Like, don't be out here being fake at all. You are brilliant. You are a brilliant individual. And yes, we can put ourselves in powerful poses, powerful positions, all of those type of things. But will it last? The things that will last will be the things that you have internally cultivated, which is why we're talking about this. I know for some of you all, this may be a refresher, but confidence is not about you being perfect. It's about you showing up for yourself through the uncertainties, through the tough times, through lack of wisdom, through the mistakes, all of those type of things. And every time that you choose yourself and you choose to lean into that trust, you become a little more confident each and every time, knowing what your strengths are, knowing what your weaknesses are, and the things that you value will help you navigate through uncertainties and help you navigate through issues a lot easier. So keep believing in yourself. You are brilliant. The only way I feel like we can truly be authentic and like develop the confidence is being brilliant. Brilliant people are above, well, not above. Brilliant people go beyond excellency. Excellency is when you're able to do something over and over and over again, and you're able to produce a certain standard. a standard of excellence. You're able to do it at such a wonderful level that you cannot be ignored. Brilliance goes beyond that, and you do something in such a way it is out of this world. It is an original. Nobody else does it like that, and nobody else gets your result ever. Only because it's you. You can give people every card in your hand, but people will drop those cards. Why? Because they are not you. They do not have the juice. They do not have the sauce like you do. There are some things that you are called forth to be brilliant in, and your brilliance will call you forth into those things simply because you are authentically you. And stepping into your confidence more is something that I really want to talk about here this month. And we're also going to get into some imposter syndrome and how to deal with things in your faith, and even what to do as an introverted person, and how to succeed with all of those things. So please stay tuned as well for the rest of our talks this month as well, and chime in and let me know how you feel about it, and if it's some things you need help with. My question for you is, what's one small thing that you can work on with your confidence? And if you are working on becoming more brilliant, you're needing to challenge your level of self-talk, you're needing to prioritize yourself. Like I said at the very beginning, this is the month of May. May this month show you all month long how worthy you are of prioritizing yourself and keeping yourself at a priority, and showing you all the benefits and the wealth that come from that. If you are working on that, I have a gift for you to download. It's totally free. It's my guide. It's in my pin site link below or in the description around here. You can download that for free. And yes, it's going to talk about why women go through burnout. You need to be aware of burnout signs and symptoms, because if you're a high achieving person and you have or don't have self-care rituals or regimens, I should say, in place, it is something that can sneak up on you. Um and it can be very it can be very sneaky how it comes in, and what it looks like in the very beginning is the first beginning stages of burnout, and how you start to maneuver out of it. And so my Burnout to Brilliance guide, excuse me, is really designed to take you into a structured 7-day protocol for you to go through what you need for self-care and to gain those practices as well. I give you more information in there. Like I said, if you're working on self-talk, there's a section in there about that. If you are looking more into how to be more positive, there's a section in there about that. But I give you all that information and you can download it for free. And I would love it if you do that and tell me how you like it as well. So thank you all so much for coming in. This has been another episode of Embracing Brilliance. 10% faith until you make it. I love it. She did a double comment. I love it too. Cause I'm like, fake. I even heard somebody said burnout is real, and it can appear suddenly for me sometimes. Yes, I had to learn my cues. Absolutely. We definitely have to learn our cues. Okay, I need to rest here. I need to stop here. And even when we get to the place where it's like, we have to learn when it's time to make a lifestyle change as well. Because if we keep coming up to a point where we got to readjust and move through, I believe our life deserves flow. And that's what I like helping people create, to create that sense of what balance looks like for you, because it looks different for everybody. So they can, succeed on their terms and what it looks like for them. Oh, no problem. I completely understood what you were saying in there, girl. Ain't nobody perfect. Like I said, the imperfections are the platforms for God to just come through and whoosh, just completely blow it out the water. Once we give Him that room. But yeah, this has been a wonderful episode here. I went over a little bit longer, but I am gonna chop this up for y'all. I'm gonna chop it up for y'all. I'll work on it. I hope you are having a wonderful evening. You're welcome. Dear said, thank you for your knowledge, love, and support. Absolutely. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you all for sharing my for sharing my posts, for sharing my videos, for asking me questions. I love to hear from y'all. Thank y'all for doing more than just viewing my stories and my videos, but like actually commenting on it. I love that. I appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one. And we'll see you on next Monday as well for another episode of Embracing Brilliance with your host, Dr. Kim of Align with Dr. Kim.